But to look your enemy in the eye, knowing you'll remember his face for the rest of your life, now that takes a stomach much stronger than you'll ever have.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival. Oh, it looks like we're approaching an area full of radiated fog. How nice.
You're dropping into Fallout 4?
Certainly appears that way, which is quite concerning.
Oh dear. Well, I am now loading in. And then I may end up crashing.
Trying to direct myself out of the irradiated fog. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you start the game dropping out of space in a pod, much like this one. These pods contain the necessary requirements for you to, well, effectively stay alive. Ooh, on re-entry.
Always helpful.
And we've hit the floor. There you go. You spawn in right next to your pod. You can press F to enter anything that gives you the option to do
respect.
so. You can see if you can take a look in anything by seeing a little yellow square around it. So that pod's going to disappear after a little. It's now up to us to gather resources. You can see that we get some vegetables. This fine fellow. Generally, the world is looking quite interesting for us. Now, we don't have a lot on us. Let's just press the tab button in order to go to our menu. See that we've got a survival tent, a survival tool, which is very useful, an energy bar, and a couple of bits and bobs. Over here next to stats, there's something called the survival constructor, which will allow us to build more things should we choose to. I'm going to make myself a couple of additional energy bars. In fact, I think I can only build one. So what we'll do is we will create plant protein from the vegetables, and then we will create an energy bar. And all will be...
I'm putting everything back like a pillock.
So let's keep looking around. Now, Viking is joining me as well, of Viking Warrior Gaming. There'll be a link to his channel in the description below. Viking hasn't played at all before, so I'm going to try and describe what I'm doing, both to you as the watchers, and hopefully what I'm describing will help Viking out a little bit as well. As you collect things, as you can see, you level up. Collect things that are on the ground by pressing F, Viking.
Okay.
You'll find things like mosses, plants, vegetables, and so on and so forth. You'll also find rocks. In front of me here is a standard rock. This doesn't contain any special materials, but if you use your survival tool, you can right-click, and there are 3 modes for it. There's a defense mode, a salvage mode, and a rock drill. What we want in this case is the rock drill, so you left-click on that in order to get it, and then you can break down the rocks, pick up anything that they give you. So we're just getting crushed stone from this. Not very useful as a component, but that is the basic premise as to getting either metallic or rock resources. Nice and easy. Now, the worry about using this survival tool in early game is it doesn't use ammo in a traditional sense. It in fact uses your energy. Now, every time that you use energy, in order to restore the energy, it uses a bit of your food. And food is a finite resource for you. It's something that you've got to continue to top up. Oh, I love the lake sounds. One thing that we should probably do is have a think about putting ourselves into a faction, Viking. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. There also appears to be some kind of spider scorpion thing near me.
Really?
No, I'm gonna leave. Oh, there's a small wreckage.
Right, I've created a faction called the Survivors.
Okay, how do I go about joining that? Factions, that would be the one.
Well, what you can do is you can press tab, go to factions, and then you buy, I believe. See that you're a candidate, and I have accepted you to the faction. Now if you press M, you can zoom out on the map and you can see. There you are, I can see you. Excellent.
You're probably about 3 or 4 kilometers away from me.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set myself a waypoint, have a look over there. If we meet at the small wreckage that you can see on the map,
Yeah.
it's 2 kilometers away. That's going to allow us to meet each other. Oh, now this is a resource-laden rock. You can see it's a slightly different colour from the last rock that we looked at. It's got blue veins in it. This is iron. So if we break this down, we will get... You can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, we get some iron ore, which is nice and useful. We like iron ore. Did you collect the water bottle that was in your ship?
I did.
We've gone for the medium start, so it's not a particularly easy start. There are easier variants that you can choose as a player, which gives you quite a lot of resources in your ship. But I thought, in order to get the... what's the word? The full experience, I think. It would be good for us to go with the what I suppose would be the standard start. Over here we've got a silicon rock. Grab a bit of
I
that.
have a flashlight. How did I turn on my flashlight?
When it comes to your flashlight, I believe you can press L.
Huh.
It's not going to make a
maybe
great deal of
my
difference during the day. But...
survival tool has a flashlight built in.
And the independent flashlight, you need to put it into your hotbar, same way that you would, well, nearly anything else.
So like Minecraft and Space Engineers and all
Very
that.
much so.
Yeah.
You can see, folks, that there's a lot of resources that we can gather as we go along. A lot of different plants that you can gather. Most of these give you different things. You see mushrooms, fire moss scrapings, spice, which is always nice, and some confetti.
Right.
Most of these, they break down into different materials in order to rebuild into something that's useful for you. To a limited extent, you can do that in your survival constructor, but we, as soon as we possibly can, are going to want a portable constructor. Once we build one of those, we can really get going. We can break down rocks into usable components. We can break down metals. I've discovered a new resource. There's a copper deposit not too far from me. Now, we're going to need to be able to mine in order to mine that, rather unsurprisingly. So we'll need a drill. We can't make a drill quite yet. We're not in a position to do so, but we'll get there.
I have arrived at the small wreckage.
Now, it's taken me a little bit of time to get there because I'm not sprinting. The reason that I'm not sprinting is because I don't want to use all my energy.
Makes sense.
As I say, energy is something of a finite resource for you. Most of the time, you can... Oh, I've achieved level 3. You can break things down for it. Particularly vegetables are useful. You may have seen a couple of vegetable blobs.
I've got plant protein, but
Yeah.
I may have seen them.
Plant protein is a good one for it. Now, the vegetable blobs, they look like... they almost look like an eyeball in some ways. Have you ever come across a lychee before?
Sounds familiar.
It's a type of fruit. Interesting fruit. It looks a little bit like a lychee in some ways. When you pick those up, it gives you vegetables. You can break those down into plant proteins, and you can make energy bars from said proteins.
Ah.
So that's going to keep your energy up. I'm doing a little bit of that as I kind of go, because I don't want to be caught with my pants down when it comes to energy. Anytime you use your survival tool, it costs you energy. Let's keep rocking and a-rolling. I'm still 1.43 kilometers away, I'm afraid.
That's okay. I'll start breaking this down.
Excellent idea. What did you find within the wreckage?
Nothing so far.
I got a couple of buds there. I think I can make a coffee with them.
Spoiled food.
Is that all you found? Oh my.
It certainly looks that way.
That is less than ideal, my friend. Less than ideal. But at least it gives us a focal point to meet at.
And some resources.
Yeah, and limited resources. You're quite right. I think some YouTubers that I've watched have argued that it's not always worth breaking down these things in early game. And the reason that they argue that is because it costs you more energy than it's worth. I get that viewpoint, but I think we'll break it down and see what happens. Now, plants, and I believe these deposits that we see, I've got some copper here, they do respawn over time. However, any underground deposits, they don't. So that's something to be very well aware of. Once you have exhausted a deposit of copper, you can probably see a deposit of copper that I've found.
Yes, it said 100% available.
That's right. So the percentage will go down and eventually it will exhaust itself. That's one of the drives that we're going to have for building a spaceship and going to another planet in the future, potentially. This is based on the theory that we both enjoy our experience, of course.
And survive that long.
Another concern that you probably want to keep an eye on, not so important here because we're in a fairly temperate region, but you do have temperature and radiation concerns. You can see those in the top right hand corner just below your map.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you have a red exclamation mark next to your temperature, that means that the temperature is below what you can reasonably sustain and your core temperature will start to drop. If your core temperature gets low enough, then it will start to have negative impacts on you, specifically your ability to regenerate your stamina, which of course means you're not going to be able to use your survival tool, you're not going to be able to sprint. There's a lot of really negative impacts on you. So it's always worth you keeping an eye out for that. Oh. And speaking of environmental hazards, we've got a little bit of radiation there that you can see, folks. Because of that segment there. This is some kind of alien environment which can wreak havoc on you if you go into it for too long. Now, I was just brushing the outskirts of it there, so it didn't have any negative impact on me. But if you sustain exposure to it, it can have an impact on you. Right now, I don't have a suit that will protect me from said radiation. If I just press tab again, you can see that's me. I'm looking a little bit miserable, as you do. I'll be able to get a suit. Uh-oh. Thought I heard some kind of animal, but...
Wait, there are multiple sectors?
Oh yeah.
Crikey.
There was a little animal there. It's what okay. Now, just from collecting things, I'm doing a little bit of mining, folks. We're now at level 4, which is pretty good. We're going to unlock some bits and bobs once we meet up with Viking. I think I can see him. Big red Santa Claus looking fellow over there. I think I'm to your left from the direction that you're running. See me? I'll give you a little jump. Now to your right because you turn around.
Yeah.
Hello, hello?
I still cannot see you. I'm partially blind, I think. Oh, there you are. You're like 20 foot in front of me. How can I not see you?
Oh, you've changed your hairstyle a little bit since the picture that you showed me. I like it. You're looking good. So this is what Viking looks like in game. It's a little bit cartoonized, but I do quite like it. And here's what I look like. Just miserable.
All of the faces look so sad and so baby-faced.
They do. They really, really do.
Apart from the weird orc one.
Yes. So this is the wreckage that Viking came across. You can see all it's got in it is spoiled food.
There was more of it.
There you go. There was a little bit more to it, as Viking has said. But it's gone now.
Yes. Right, no, salvage, not destroy.
Right, so while Viking is chewing that, I think what I'll do is I will go to the tech trees. Okay, so you can see that within the tech trees we've got several tabs. We've got base. In fact, I should probably tell you how to get there, shouldn't I, Viking? If you press tab and go to tech trees from the top left-hand, you can unlock things with your level up point. I think one of the first things that we're likely to... We've got our survival tool, so we don't need to concern ourselves there. We know how to make a drill.
Sentry guns.
Indeed. But what we could really do is in the misc segment, you can see that we've got a water generator, and off that is a portable constructor. I'm going to unlock that, and hopefully I've got enough items to produce one. Yes, I have. So there we go, and we simply do that in our survival constructor. We're going to build a portable constructor, set it down, and see what we can make using that.
And because of our location, we don't need a portable heater/cooler, do we?
We might do during the night.
We might do during the night. Okay.
Yeah, we will see. It appears that there's a little bit of an issue with tents on dedicated servers. Usually what you can do when you're playing solo is you can pop that tent down that you've got in your inventory.
Mm.
Right, I'll show the guys.
And
usually
the
you can pop this down like so, and then you can press F on it in order to spend the night. But because we're in a dedicated server environment, sadly we can't.
Oh,
so if you're playing single player, that is one way to avoid the worst effects of the night. Now your calories will still go down, food will still be used, but you're not going to freeze to death, which is always nice. Okay, so we've got our survival constructor. Sorry, portable constructor, my apologies. I'm going to put that into my hotbar, press 2 for its location, and we're just going to plonk it down on the floor like so. You can see that we've got a greater variety of potential things in there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put most of the materials I've gained so far.
I'm pretty sure it's not game. Cannot access portable constructor due to it being to an other faction.
That's right. You won't be able to access it while I'm in it, I'm afraid. That is a limitation of the game.
Oh, right.
So let's create 3 iron ingots. And it looks like we can create 4 copper ingots. And 2 silicon ingots. Right, while those are constructing, you can see that there's output on them. There you go, Viking. Take a look yourself.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to create a couple of things.
I see a motorcycle construction kit.
That's right. Fingers crossed we're going to make ourselves a couple of motorbikes.
I am intrigued.
Yeah, it's going to allow us to get round a little bit faster. Okay, folks, we are back. The things that we wanted to construct have been constructed. You can see that I've got the motorbike here. Put that in slot 3, shall we? Viking has created a chainsaw. Now that takes biofuel to fuel, if you like, but you can just cut down trees in order to break them down into natural plant fibers, and you get plenty of fuel from it. Now we spoke a little bit earlier about doing missions, so let's work out how we can do that. If you press tab and go to your PDA, which is the 4th along, you can see that there are some solo missions. There are also some team missions. Now, the team mission that I thought we might want to do...
Oh, there's a read first.
Okay, let's read first. Faction missions are still a work in progress feature, with one important technical constraint. Mission progress will not be saved. This means other than single player missions and the tutorial chapters, a faction mission needs to be completed in one pass. If you deactivate the mission, your progress will be lost. A warning will be displayed though. Same happens if the mission leader, which would be myself in this case I think, leaves the server. This behaviour will be improved on as soon as possible. Until then, we've set up faction missions in a way that should allow having fun, not needing to invest hours and hours of risky process. Okay, so the Robertson protocol is the thing that we want to do. So it says here, it was a hard touchdown, but the escape pod looks pretty much intact. Bit of a spelling error there. Check inventories and pick up everything. So let's activate this mission. Say let's go. Right. Should be getting some pop-ups in the near future because I think it's likely to be there for you as well.
What's that? The mission icon? I cannot see it. Unless it's on the other
Create
side
some
of the
energy
planet.
bars, bandages or other food items in your survival constructor before all going there. Also craft a survival tool. We've already got one. It's just giving us a little bit of a tip here. We can see 2.62 kilometers away now. There is a wreckage. Do you see over there?
No. I could look that way, but there's nothing there.
All right, there is for me. So how about we go together to that wreckage?
Distress signal, is that? Okay. Well, I see it now.
Right. Let's get over there. We'll leave this constructor here because we can always come back.
Oh no, this is the light.
These bikes are pretty damn cool. They also operate quite nicely. There's no jankiness with them.
You say this, but you are quite janky on my screen.
Am I? That's interesting.
Yeah. That could be our connection to each other, though.
It might well be. I am running this locally. This isn't a dedicated server. And as a result, it is taking my computer's processing power both to run the game and indeed to run the server. And I'm recording as well.
It's a very cold area.
Yep, I can see that. But don't worry, I've got a nice thingamajiggy on me, which is going to allow us to warm up if we get into any trouble. You'll get a warning if you get too cold.
Yes.
But you'll see that the ambient temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. Your core temperature is, well, it's not even your core temperature.
I run into a rock.
I saw that. Your temperature is 24. It will reduce as time goes by. Oh, we discovered a new resource.
I would have discovered it had I not run into a rock.
Copper deposit. You also discovered the copper deposit. Fantastic. I believe all of this is going to contribute to your levels as well. 2800 metres from the wreckage now.
You've
found an iron deposit as well. Oh, we're actually doing very well.
Run into a tree. The lights on this could do with being enhanced slightly.
Let's, we will create ourselves a new craft. We've got another iron deposit. My god, finding a lot of stuff. Okay.
Oh, blowing it.
Okay, I've discovered the point of interest. Are you close to me?
I'm 200 meters away. I keep running into trees. You wouldn't believe I ride a motorcycle.
We've also found a silicon deposit, so mining is going to be the next good thing for us. Good.
They're good.
Okay, so I'm now 155 meters from the wreckage. I'm going to get off my bike and stick it into my inventory. And we're going to go in on foot.
Somehow hold.
I can see Viking on the map coming up behind me. Oh, it looks like a little base. This wreckage. Okay, it says search through the wreckage and pick up everything you can find. Should there be a locker or container or similar inside, which holds useful stuff for all, there should be a container, excuse me, which holds useful stuff for all of you. Now I know. Now, if you wouldn't mind me,
I ride a motorcycle in real life, would you?
If you wouldn't mind me taking a quick look in the boxes before we take anything out, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I can't see any hostile threat. Oh, that's a light. We've got some lockers here.
I will be your light for a moment.
Okay, within the lockers we've got an additional motorbike, some purified water, various different sprouts, and they're going to allow us to do stuff later on, and a new portable craft. Did you want to take a look yourself? First, player 1 empties the locker, then the second player can grab his stuff. Oh, that's interesting. So what we can now do is we can actually, I can take everything out of this locker. So you can shift left click to grab the things that you might want. There we go. Consider placing the portable constructor down and have a look to see if you can craft something useful. First, craft a drill to be able to drill underground deposits for larger ore quantities. With the portable constructor you can build better personal equipment, tools, parts for hover vessels and bases, etc. and so on and so forth. We've completed this mission now. Hopefully Viking's going to get back in a moment. I'm going to salvage in the meantime while I wait for him, because we do have plenty of food. I'm not concerned about that in the short term. I've got 3 steel plates from that, always delicious. And hopefully we'll be back when Viking gets back.
Me.
You can see I'm doing a little bit of salvage here. Have you grabbed everything out of the cargo boxes?
Yes. Whoa. Whoops.
I can see that structural integrity isn't one of your main...
Look, I studied media, not engineering.
Oh god, you're one of them.
What do you mean, one of them?
Media students. Or as I like to call them, DOSers.
And what did you study at college?
College? I did psychology, sociology, history, law, and geography.
Okay, and how? Just out of curiosity, how many do you utilize in your everyday life, or in your work, for that matter?
To a limited extent, all of them. They taught me useful investigation techniques, I suppose, which is what I do. And I did history and archaeology when I was in university.
Ooh.
That I don't use at all.
Yeah, that's like many a true nerd. He has pretty much got a PhD in classics, but he's full-time YouTuber.
Sometimes that's the way of things. Right, what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to put my bike down, go and get our bits and bobs.
Oh, what, from the
other site?
Yeah. Are we going to move here?
I don't think so.
Oh, crap!
If you want to carry on doing what you're doing, I'm going to get to our small wreckage, pick everything up, and then come back.
I've already got rid of half of it.
I heard that.
I destroyed one bit. One entire wall has now broken, and the roof has gone.
You're still recording, I presume?
I am indeed.
Excellent. Good. Hopefully we'll be able to see that. Right.
Welcome back.
Oh, hello. Let's put that away. I can put all the items into this.
Indeed. I will put some of the construction stuff that I have in there.
If you'd like to share it with Faction, you can see at the very top top of the menu.
Faction access.
And then once you're out of it, I'll jump in. Throw all the bits and bobs I have in there. I'll put the plant bits in there in spite of that.
45 minutes until sunrise, which is like every 2 or 3 seconds is a minute, roughly. Oh, and there's our heater.
I'll bring your core temperature up should you need it. Now, as I say, it doesn't affect us as badly as...
Not what I meant to do. There we go.
It doesn't affect us as badly as it might do on other servers, servers that have got a little bit of a harsher environment, or planets that have got a harsher environment. So our core temperature hasn't dropped too much, but this is utterly essential if you are on a planet with a fairly hostile environment. Let's take a look at tools. Build a drill. That will build 2 drills.
I figure if we go to like the North Poles or ice biome, our temperature will drop further.
Indeed, that is the case, yes.
But because we're in a relatively temperate forest area.
Right, so we've got a couple of drills going. We're also going to need fuel for that.
Yeah, I have 7 on me, but there should be a lot of plant fibre.
So what I'll do is I'll queue 30 up. Maybe 40. I'll queue 40 up. Ah, the hell with it. I'll queue 50 up.
Any advance on 50?
Not yet.
Look at that. That is beautiful. That is.
What's that? Oh, the sunrise.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
Gorgeous.
It's looking very good.
The god rays coming over the trees.
Now with these drills you can drill both into the ground and into rock deposits. You use the same function as you would with this survival tool, so you right click, go, it'll either be ground drill or rock drill. Rock drill you can eliminate rock deposits in something like 3 clicks. There it is. Make sure you reload it. Padam padam. Now any of these deposits that you see around us, they're underground.
Right.
So you will need that. We don't have jetpacks at the moment, so you probably want to try and go down at an angle. I wouldn't do that right now, because, as I say, this has got to be the end of the episode in a couple of moments.
So that's what happens. So there is a voxeling system.
It is.
Indeed.
And it's not a bad one either.
Round drill. Ah, okay.
So there we go, folks. This is the first episode of Empyrion Galactic Survival. In the next episode, as and when we get to play, Viking and I, hopefully, based on the theory that this saves successfully,
Hopefully.
We will start creating a base, maybe create a hovercraft as well, clean out some deposits, and we'll probably do the next mission in the chain, which is called The Tower.
What is this? Crystal Maze?
The Tower, Viking! So, it should be okay. I've been really enjoying the experience of Empyrion so far. Primarily because it seems to be more focused on the survival aspect than perhaps Space Engineers is. Also, it doesn't contain quite as much jankiness as Space Engineers. I do hate comparing
multiplayer.
I do hate comparing games to one another in that vein, because they're of course going to be their own products. But given the voxel system and also the block construction system, I think comparisons of that nature are inevitable, aren't they?
They are in terms of the sort of genre of them, they are a very similar style. So
they are indeed. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you take a look for Viking Warrior Gaming's channel in the description below. I'm not sure if he's going to be doing this video himself personally, but he does have a range of other content which is very enjoyable.
Oh, thank you.
And I will see you in the next episode.